And welcome back to Scav Talk, everyone. Today's episode, we got major 1.0 details from BSG and various Tarkov personalities at the PAX showcase going on. We're going to talk about Tarkov updates, of course, Nikita leaks, as always, 5 Steam games to wishlist, Microsoft will fix stutters, and a particular game I've been playing I want to talk to you all about, Cassette Beasts.
All right. So we've taken a little bit longer to publish this one. This is Tuesday currently, so hopefully we'll smash this one out sooner rather than later. Try and get it sent out ASAP. But yeah, I've been completely offline the past like sort of 8 days or something. It's just been it's been crazy. The renovations continue. Everybody who's seen me on stream, I've got my box fort next to me with all my random stuff in it. But I basically just been painting for like a week straight, or evenings throughout the day. Like honestly, there was so much to do, and we had to get it all done because everything's contingent on the next part, and we need some of the guys to come in and do some other stuff. But then one of them is on holiday the week after, so everything had to be done now. And I was saying just before, it also just like coincided with my eldest daughter going to school 5 days a week for the first time. She's like going to school properly, and so it's just been carnage, basically. It's been complete chaos. So the streams had to drop for a little bit, but back now, and hopefully, fingers crossed, shouldn't have to have any more like big long hiatuses. So we are fortunate in that we didn't actually have that much in Tarkov itself. So like being off stream actually didn't really matter that much because most of the important stuff was going on at PAX. But just before we start, there have been some small changes to the hardcore wipe, which is still technically ongoing. I had somebody come in today just being like, is the hardcore wipe still happening? It's like, well, yeah, but also not really. Like, it's basically secure container and a few other things. Like some items are still missing. You know, secure container restrictions. Flea market is the level 35, and you only have one slot. And there's a few things that you can't get access to. So they did some balancing changes on this is on the 5th. This is like 4 days ago, which was returned the full Prapor level 4 item range, returned the dependence of scav gear quality based on fence standing. Not that I even knew that was different. Reduced the paid vehicle extraction price to 20,000 rubles. So before it was 40 something, 40k. I can't remember. I think it was about 40k. So it's halved. It used to be like 8. So you know, it's still reasonable-ish. And as a reminder, you can't put money in your secure container still. So the secure container is still restricted for any medical item that is not a syringe. It is not for ammo and no cash either. So you have to take the 20k with you or find it, which you can easily do actually. You'll pretty much find if you find like 2 like registers, cash registers, you probably make 20k. They usually have like 12,000 in them. So it's not that big of a deal, but it just means you have to think a little bit more. So yeah, that's that. And there's still a couple of things that are missing. Like I was just looking up a few items earlier, and you know, you still can't buy M80 outright. You can get it from ref, but somebody pointed out to me like, well, because Prapol's full item range has come back, you can get 762 PP. So 762 PP being back is probably the strongest bullet now, I would imagine, that you can get from the trader, because you can get BCPFMJ, and I've been using that, and it's fine. It's like 37 pen, but 762 PP is 41, and most people are using at least class 4 at this point. You can get class 5 fairly readily if you're high enough level, but most people are on class 4 armor. So PP's pretty good, but yeah. Other than that, in my progression, I was trying to get to level 42. I thought I was going to do it today, and I just didn't quite make it because I got duped by whatever it's called, provide viewership, the ref quest. I was like, hey, this has got 24k, you know, XP on it, and I only need like 16. Let's go do it. I planted all the cameras, then it's like, oh yeah, and you've got to kill 15 things in the area. And I was like, why didn't it say that at the beginning? Like I forgot. Obviously, chat told me. I was on the wiki, and I just didn't read. So you know, reading's hard for streamers. We're it's difficult, you know. Yeah. So next stream that I'm on EFT4, which may not be tomorrow actually, but I'll come to that later. I'll have 42, and then the floodgates can open. The floodgates can open. We're going to go to Arena. I've got cases upon cases. It's like a freaking Amazon warehouse in there. I've got so much stuff in Arena waiting because I haven't moved. I say literally anything, not literally true. Pretty much anything. I moved 5 GP coins one time so I could prove out a gunsmith build. But other than that, everything else that I used in Arena is still in there. All the GP coins, all the cases. So we're just going to have like, you know, present opening day
Nice.
next time we get on EFT, which is going to be funny. So we'll see. But yeah, so I'm level 41 because I took like a week and a bit off, and haven't been playing Arena either. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. That's where we're at, and so we just see how the rest of the wipe goes from this point, and focus on the teasers.
Okay. So pretty much.
Did you see much coming out of PAX?
I did see a little bit. I think I saw two people. One was Airwing Marine talking about some of the things he saw and played. And then I saw someone else, but I can't remember who it was. But that's about the bulk. And then I went down a little bit nice guy stuff, but nothing too in depth really.
Yeah, I think the Airwing one was probably the best rundown of everything, because they said to him you can just tell everybody. So I guess we'll just go from the beginning. So PAX opened up. People thought that maybe there was going to be some stuff shown there about 1.0 or whatever. The first that we knew of this was a picture that came, I don't know where from, but nice guy picked it up and redistributed it, saying confirmation those attending PAX West are playing on Terminal, which is like, and it's pretty funny where it says at the bottom, no camera, no cell phone, no video. He actually did reply to his own thing, saying, in case this isn't clear, this is okay to share, right? It's like you're not going to get banned for sharing this picture on Twitter or something. So I think it was maybe they intended
general rule,
as we saw later, right? They intended to tell people later, so they said they just wanted to control it, I think. So they probably said that, you can release this like a controlled leak or whatever, a Nikki leak, you might say. So the community was, I would say, kind of shocked, right? The people playing Terminal at PAX. I was personally I was quite annoyed when I first saw this. I was just like, are you kidding me? What the hell? I think I took the, people are only going to be playing Terminal 1.0 content, storyline, blah, 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 at release a bit too much to heart, because I don't feel like I did then. But my gut instinct was just betrayal. I was just like, what the hell, man? There's no way I can go there, for example. What gives? This just sucks, I'm just stuck here. Just watching you can't even see what's going on. Watching random screenshots appear of other people playing. I was just this feels really, really crap. So I was quite miffed when that first came out. But I don't know. As it sort of went on, I was like, actually, it's fine. Nikita shared a few different pictures of a few things. So there's 2 Terminal work in progress pictures. One is Black Division, I believe. If you see on the left-hand guy, the left-hand picture, the guy's armband there. I mean, we know it is now because we were told afterwards. And then the other one is RUAF, so Russian Army. So there's both Black Division and RUAF in Terminal, which is pretty interesting. And from there, it kind of just got more and more crazy. So there was actual confirmation of Black Division, because I don't know where this came from, but there was were these older ones? I'm not sure. Nice guy posted these 2 things anyway. I know why. Yes, it's because of the armors in these pictures were basically the things that are worn by the Black Division guys. So it was confirmed the Black Division were on Terminal, and especially some people were saying it as well. And it's got it's something to do with the Raid series. So it's pretty much in the Raid series. Most people have watched that at this point. It seems to be how it's gone down. So Black Division was basically announced. Up until now, BSG haven't said anything about them.
Yeah.
And Nikita himself posted another screenshot. One of the guys kind of close up, wearing MVGs, being on Terminal. So there's a lot of leaks and teasers coming out from here. And then we started hearing about people playing it. So a couple of people had played it, and those leaks came through. And then some of the content creators started to get to play it as well. And as you said, Erin gave a really good rundown. They weren't allowed to film or show anything. But then after they came out, he asked, can we just say what we saw? And they were like, yeah, sure. So there wasn't any NDA or any limits or blocks or anything like that. So basically, it was just there was a cinematic that they got shown, which maybe at maybe the beginning of the game or something else that seemed kind of hype. And then they got to play, a piece of a mission or a piece of the storyline quest or something. Not exactly sure where it is. It seemed like maybe towards the end of the game, because if you're in Terminal, it's probably towards the end. And effectively revolved around walking up to, basically like in the Raid series. So walking up to the Terminal doors, going in, having your stuff taken away from you, and then having to basically get your stuff back. And then there's a mega fight between RUAF and Black Division. You have to like fight your way through Black Division, not shooting RUAF because otherwise they would suddenly turn around and kill you. They're actually on your side unless you shoot them. And then you have to get through a load of Black Division guys by you have to find your kit or whatever, then like get a key card or something like that, get through into another building and then try and get out. Now apparently some people who got quite far in it were like ambushed by Gluhar later on, so what they're doing they have no idea. And there were some people as well saying like if you went into a certain area, then I think One Peg also released like what he had played. He played it like 6 times or something, and got into a courtyard where he ended up just getting sniped by Black Division. That seemed to be like the end. I think there maybe was an end of the scenario somewhere along the way, but like there was only that snippet anyway. Like you couldn't continue after going through and doing all the stuff. So, but like everybody seemed very pleased, which is a nice thing about it. One Peg usually doesn't pull punches if you think it's going to suck. So
say that again.
One Peg doesn't usually pull his punches when he thinks that something's not done well. And he was like kind of all over it, being like fanboy. It's hard to detach the excitement of like being at the event and playing the cool thing and yada yada from like, is this actually going to like work when it gets into 500,000 people's hands? Those two things are not necessarily the same. So, my critical, skeptical hat is still firmly on for this kind of thing. But we'll see. It sounded fun. It did sound fun. So and a bit different from the stuff that we've done already. Like, cutscenes, things that are a bit more. They feel more like a bit more scripted, a bit more thought through, a bit more a bit more linear in some way, but like
right.
Insofar as like Tarkov's like very sandboxy at the moment. I know you have for doing various quests, you have to go here and do this thing, but you can kind of go about it anyway. It's just a normal raid. Like there's never a special raid other than what happens in the raid, if you know what I mean. Other than maybe Lightkeeper. Lightkeeper's probably the one example that's slightly different because you go to his thing and then you have the cutscene and you talk to him and like you get the items and it's kind of different and like kind of cool. Notwithstanding the amount that I think they screwed him up, but that's like its own thing, and it seems like this is its own thing. And what this means for the base game, I mean, honestly, we could debate endlessly about it.
The only thing I don't know if I saw the same thing, but there was like Airwing kind of like giving his first impressions like fresh off the PC is what it felt like. Like he just got done in the booth and they're like, come here, we'll do an interview. And he's like, it was like a unique experience. Tarkov people are gonna love it. Blah blah blah. And I mean, I kind of share the sentiment you are. Like I'm a little skeptical when I hear it, but I think ultimately it's gonna be like something new for Tarkov players. That's gonna be a new and unique experience. So I think that will have like a lot of appeal to it. Like truly new, not just like, hey, we got a new boss, you guys, and like the cinematic cutscenes, and that's kind of what I wonder is, when you're talking about like the almost like a single player, more like linear scripting story events playing out. Like I wonder, did anyone specify if they were like playing in duos or like with other players? Like that's really interesting to me.
It was all threes.
Okay. That sounds pretty fun.
So you were in like I think the PCs were set up in threes, so everyone was in like trios together. So you'd like go in as 3, have your stuff taken, then have to like fight your way out.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Like you got like the main Tarkov, the gameplay that we're all used to, and then you got like this sort of like zombie survival like secondary game mode. I mean, that's not really how it's going to be, but I don't know. I've always kind of liked that idea. Like you play like a version of Tarkov. I mean, basically like PvE, but it's more crafted around that experience of, hey, you and your buddies are going to go in and steal the nuclear codes from, that's some Russian guy, you know what I mean? Something that's like truly crafted. So I think that would be really fun to see. Because BSG has like they're really good in environmental storytelling, but I've always felt like they've had little things like that, like they wanted to do, but they couldn't necessarily. Like, remember the BTR cutscene where like Black Division hopped out? I even think of this. This might be kind of a weird callback, but remember like the landmine on Ground Zero? You know, it's like it's a troll room, but or even another good example is the labyrinth event. You know, like
Yeah.
so much of that just feels so handcrafted for a singular person to experience.
Yeah, no, they are good at this stuff, but it's how it gets linked together. I'm not sure. I think they've been working on this stuff for ages. There's so many theories going around now about exactly what it's going to entail and whether we're just going to have the base game plus some stuff for the storyline along with Terminal or whatever, or whether the game itself is going to get kind of like interspersed with cutscenes and whatnot. Because I mean, I'm sort of hoping it's the latter in some ways, but I'm also kind of worried because like that entails like the biggest change to the whole game. Like I find it hard to believe that there's not going to be like a cutscene at the beginning based on what we've seen. Right, we've seen like Ground Zero before the fall and with the the bear guys turning up and in pictures and stuff. So like it seems to me like there's going to be more of that, and that might link the game together. Maybe there's more of a coherent, because at the moment like Tarkov's not like there's quest line, right? There's no story, right? There's no like coherent narrative really.
Yeah.
Except for sort of within some of the quest lines. Probably the best ones are maybe like Chemical. It's probably the best ones.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just kind of like just do stuff to get levels.
Yeah.
So if they can keep that and keep the way that the raids work right now, but then you've also still got this like overarching thing you're working towards. I don't know. It's certainly going to be interesting. I'm always, the more they change, the more scope there is to kind of deviate and like mess up the formula. And then like the whole game is not even fun anymore. So that's why I'm sort of reserving judgment. I'm just a bit like nervous because we have no idea what is coming with it.
Yeah, I could see
it's going to be different.
doing...
I think it's going to be different.
Yeah, I could see them like you keep all the side quests effectively, and because that plays into the larger narrative story of you wanting to escape from Tarkov, so you're helping out these traders so you can get the resources to do so, and then you basically have like a main storyline quest, kind of like a MMO, so to speak, and maybe it's like isolated events, like a single player narrative thing. Maybe there's a couple where you got to go grab some stupid document from customs in like a room heavily guarded with or it's like high traffic or something, you know what I mean? Something like that. And
yeah,
I don't know, I could see them doing like a lot of the... I think the idea of you and like two other teammates going and doing a main storyline quest of a lot of high production crafted linear experiences in the Tarkov setting, I think that could be really fun.
the one thing that worries me a little bit is it going to be like made for threes?
Probably.
It's like, I guess they've always said the game's designed to be played in teams. They've never forced it that way.
Yeah.
It feels like this may be more, because it's quite some of the elements in the game already are quite hard solo.
Yeah, that was the thing too.
So
I noticed some of the post PAX reviews were like, it's quite hard, it's quite challenging or something. Which kind of that in itself kind of made me worried, because sometimes challenging and difficulty for BSG is like, all right, we're cranking up the AI to 11. We're gonna put invisible mines 5 feet from your spawn. Good luck.
Yeah, one pack did say they were quite aimbotty, the Black Division guys.
Yeah,
but I think if it's more linear, then in some ways that's sort of okay. But then it comes back to rogues. I've never really enjoyed fighting Tarkov's like the more scripted AI in the first place. I quite like fighting raiders on labs. It's quite fun because they can they're a bit more dynamic, whereas like the rogues I just never really enjoyed. It's like, oh, learn this pattern and here's how you do it.
Yeah,
I could just see that happening again. Like, oh, you just have to like learn this thing, like
I know what you mean.
Some stupid I want to be the guy type game where you just have to go, oh, the first rogue killed me. Okay, there he is.
It's water
Right now I
treatment
killed the
all
first.
over
Oh, the
again.
second rogue killed me. Okay, well there he is. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, the third guy, the third Black Division killed me. Okay, there he is now. So you go like each time you get like one step further and get killed by some random bullshit, and then it's like, okay, let's start again. I got to gather together 300 wires and farm like 16 terminal cards so I can get through the gate so I can have another go. You know, and most people are not going to do that, and most people are going to watch the YouTube video made by Sheaf, who's done it 50 times already and then has worked out the perfect path, and then it's just like, this is the thing you do. You stand here, you peek here, you do this thing. It's just like, I hope it doesn't end up like that, but like,
yeah, we'll see.
It will, right? If they make it stupid, it will just be that again.
They need to still incorporate dynamicism to it. Like, you can't have, I mean, you could probably have a couple, but that can't be the whole package. Is like guards sitting at predetermined locations. You know what I mean? Like, as you said, the rogues patrolling the rooftops, and I guess they do some routes around the ground, but it's just like, it's just not. You end up having to, because of their health pools and then their weaponry and then the mounted guns, like, you end up having to sort of force down this very solidified one way of interacting with it, which that just gets, it's like fun once you learn it, maybe the first time, but then the 50th time it's just boring and repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, I know that people were saying, so again, in One Peg's one, he was saying that he tried like just waiting and just sort of being really, really slow player, and they did actually come round and going through a different door. So they are a bit more smart. And that's the thing. They need to lean into that, right? They need to be like tactical and work together, not just like insta aimbot your head. If they like put you under pressure, that's the thing, because it's not fun if you just peek out and then instantly die. That's like that's not interesting at all. Then you have to figure out some like cheese bug way to fight them.
Yeah.
Whereas if they do put pressure on you and they're very aggressive, you have to deal with a lot of them at the same time, and like you run out of ammo and then you reload and then they come in. It's like that kind of thing is okay. They're like kind of exploiting me. Then I can feel like, okay, I can try and hold back some stuff, or I've got a second gun, or like things like this. Or I need my teammate to cover me, or whatever it is, right? Like that's what makes it like fun and interesting to overcome, not just like, I just can't outshoot these dudes because they're just going to kill me instantly as soon as I peek out, and I have to fight 6 of them, and I make a micro mistake one time, and then bam, I'm dead, and I have to retry. Right? That's what makes it unfun.
It reminds me a lot of the Halo sandbox talk, where you have like different enemy types, and then how those enemy types interact with the player and other enemies. Like, you had the elites, and they were sort of like the pack leader, and they would be, very aggro. They were basically like your counterpart. They had like energy shields. They were tankier. And then you had the grunts, were just like these little goofy little guys. And if you killed the elite, the grunts would like panic and run around. There's like this. They kind of have like these little things with various enemies, and you have all that, and then you take all those tools that you develop around all those enemy types, and then now you just like have a sandbox that you as the developer get to like craft experiences for players. We'll put this enemy type here around this corner, this variant here, blah blah blah. So if they could do something, which I believe they can, if they do something similar, like maybe the Black Division, they're special force elites, so they're like, have X, Y, and Z gameplay mechanic to them. Like, I don't know, like you said, they push you while you're reloading, or they flank you often. Then you got like your regular standard scav in the mix that's just like, one Azuka and fires a bunch of shots that land nowhere. Like, I don't know. It'd be interesting too if the Black Division were like dynamic in that you never knew when they were coming. Like, after the first playthrough, that they like entered the scene. But then you play it through a second time, and they didn't enter the same way they did prior. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe they came later. Maybe they were more passive. Like, I don't know. Things like that, I think, would make it like go a long ways to making the experience fun and enjoyable.
Yeah. So we will see. If anybody wants to know more information about that, about just the general like what happened at PAX, I advise go to watch Airwing's video. A ton of people watched it. It's called I Played 1.0 or something. on his channel. And that one's got like a ton of views because obviously everyone's like, it was the best blow by blow, I think, that I saw about exactly what happened and Martyrs and like the whole raid and like how it worked and yada yada. So go and watch that if you're interested. So the main other thing that came out of, well, while PAX was going on actually, was another post by Nikita announcing something that we have heard about for a long time and didn't know whether it was still going to arrive or not, which was, as you can see from the GIF, those who are watching on video, was the Steam announcement. So Tarkov will be going on Steam. It appears at 1.0. I don't know whether, I mean, it doesn't imply that necessarily, but it just means it's going on Steam at some point. Now, this is obviously cool. Lots of people are very keen to have it on Steam for various reasons. There's been people speculating about lots of stuff about it. The launcher probably will exist. There's stuff on Steam where, you press the button and it opens up then the launcher.
Yeah.
It probably won't just open it up. It's not going to open up just through Steam directly, I don't think.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting because it opens out two things. The first one being Steam reviews, which is quite fascinating. And the second one being the 2-hour refund. So people can buy the game and refund it straight away if they're new.
Steam charts.
And Steam charts. Although how that interacts with people who already have the game
probably won't.
Is going to have a huge impact on what we see there, right? Because I guess it'd be interesting to be able to see here's the new people on Steam charts. It's kind of neat. Here's people, everyone who has it on Steam, which is only a fraction of the player base. So yeah, we'll see. But I actually think that could unlock a lot of the player base, or some new player base. Them going on to Arena, onto Epic Games or whatever is not going to do anything. But releasing on Steam actually for 1.0, there may well be plenty of people who have heard of the game, haven't picked it up. But now it's easy because it's right there. I can just have it in my Steam library like everything else.
The game's finished now. 1.0.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's there's lots of the thing you have to remember is that we're so embedded within the Tarkov scene. Right. It's easy to forget there's just tons of people out there playing different games, and there's not really, most of the time, there's not really any good reason why people play one over another, either than just something caught their eye, or they were bored, they finished playing one game and they're looking for another one. There's very random reasons why you can't play everything, so people pick up games for all sorts of random reasons. And I reckon they'll get a lot of people through Steam actually, especially given, well, we'll see how it goes, but depending on how 1.0 is and whether the pricing's any different. I mean, I guess they've got all the additions to put up there, but we'll see. I'm definitely sure there'll be people who have been waiting to put it through there. For example, I've heard about Satisfactory for ages, and when it went on 1.0, we all ended up buying it. Yeah. We weren't interested in playing it through its development, right. But then when it went on 1.0, we had a couple of friends who'd played it before. So, this game was actually pretty good. Let's check it out now that it's released with all the features. And we all got it. So it's okay. And then we played it through most of the way to the end. So there's definitely going to be new people coming through. So this is pretty big. I also think it's quite smart for them too, because they have new people coming in, but it's probably a trickle now, relatively, right? They have however many new people coming in each day. Nothing compared to the way it used to be. The most of the player base is existing and already is just in the game and has the game. And so they're unlocking a new audience. Yes, they're paying the 30% fee to Valve, it's a big fee, but everybody who was coming through the regular launcher has already gone through the regular launcher, and you probably still can go through the regular launcher. So depending on where they price it on Steam, they'll just gather up that sort of extra audience. So I think it's pretty good. I think it's a good thing for the game overall. I wonder if the page has actually appeared yet. And that's the screenshot, right? That's Nikita's screenshot. I know they said that it was coming. Let's see, escape. Let me see if I can put it up.
I'd be surprised. Maybe.
Not yet. I didn't know if there was going to be maybe a holding page or something.
Yeah.
But not at this time. Not at this time. Okay, so the next thing we have to watch out for then is Tokyo. So this is the 4 different shows that are going on. So PAX is done. We saw quite a lot of spicy business going on at PAX. So the next one is on the 29th of September. So that is in 2 weeks' time. That is the 25th of September, the 25th through to the 28th. So that is in just over 2 weeks' time at the time of this recording. And that's, well, I don't know. We're going to have to see. We didn't really know what was going to come at PAX, so we'll have to see if there's anything else at Tokyo. Obviously, that's a world away, so we'll just monitor that from afar. And then once that is done, there is 2 more. One of those is Paris Games Week, which is October the 30th through to the 2nd of November. Now, that one is quite close to release. That one is like 2 weeks, I think. Mm-hmm. It'll be on the 15th, right? Yeah, so that is 2 weeks before the release. So it's like really, really, really close. So I'm eyeing up whether I'm going to go to that, because Paris is not hard to get to for me, really. Even if I just go for like a day or something on like the Friday or whatever it might be. So like I haven't got any plans or I haven't set anything yet. But that, given what happened at PAX, we'll see what happens at Tokyo. Given this is like literally 2 weeks before, they might be releasing more stuff, or there might be more teasers. It might be pretty hype. So we'll see. Because the final one is Busan, which is in South Korea. And that one is actually over the release weekend, weirdly. So that one's going to be, I think that's like the 13th to the 16th or something. So like the game like releases on the Saturday. So that might be more of a like retail focused one, maybe. You know, with like, you can play the game. It's been released, like, because we'll be getting it at home on that same weekend. So it's almost like too late to build maybe like 1 or 2 days of hype or whatever. They might release some like trailers or something. But I can't imagine there's going to be too much of like release content. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe there's not too much release content coming. But like, but Paris could be big, right? 2 weeks before, that's like perfect to like build some hype, like show some extra stuff. So yeah, I'm like, I'm thinking about it. I need to have a look at some prices and whatnot. So we'll see. Other random stuff. Got a couple of Nikki clips of like various things. It's the some different guns. Got some walking poses. There's a little sticky note that says F6 wipe, which I think is just a joke about press the F6 button just like wipes the game kind of deal. Lots of people like reading into it, just like, oh, what does this mean? Hexadecimal, tinfoil. It was going a bit crazy, but I think it's literally just a joke. The gray box model or whatever you call it of the guy with the shotgun is interesting, and I didn't actually see it under this post, I don't think, but somebody said to me that was. Well, not said to me, but I saw it online. I think it was Very Bad Scat, but it wasn't under this. Maybe it was separately. Maybe it was on one of his videos or something. That it was like a mock-up of like in-raid trader Ragman because of like the boxes and stuff. I did see. I saw a theory somewhere that it was him, because I think because I was like, really, like it looks more like Jaeger or someone.
Yeah, I guess the shotgun kind of skews that perception.
Yeah, exactly. But I think on the big Ragman picture, he does actually have a shotgun next to him. I've just like opened it up, and he's got like the sort of crates kind of thing. There was something from somewhere else like previously that kind of also made the link a bit more. So, but apparently it might be that. There's a couple of cult things, some more like raid sequences stuff, and some new levels and whatnot, and a kind of dev diary type thing, which I guess was going to be released kind of closer to the release date itself, I would imagine. So that's pretty neat. Yeah. Nikita himself went on to this thing called the MNG podcast, which was, what's it even called? GMN? Yeah, GMN, Game Maker's Notebook. Never heard of these guys before. It was about an hour long, and there was a code that went with it, which was Nikita on GMN podcast, all capitals, and you could get some free stuff for that. I did listen to it. A lot of it was about Nikita's like history, how he got into games and stuff. So if you're interested in like the background lore of Nikita and kind of how Tarkov came to be and like his inspirations and stuff like that, it's quite cool for that. You won't find anything particularly interesting about 1.0 or anything else in there. So it's just more of a general Nikita lore type thing, and about how Tarkov is and his thoughts about it, and whatnot, how they work and everything else. So it's interesting too, but nothing too crazy. Over on Twitter, Harry posted a picture with the Star Wars meme. I found another Tarkov bug. It'll be fixed in 1.0, right? And then Anakin just sort of staring like, right? And Nikita actually retweeted this and said, long-standing bugs, let's collect them here, let's go. In a post on the 6th. So people have been posting a billion things there, obviously. So I don't know what this means. So they like, I have no idea, right? Like, if this is another one of those, just like, why are you asking now? Kind of things. It's like releases in 2 months. Are you going to fix all these things? Or maybe they were just looking through to see which ones people like the most, to some sort of weird priority list. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's loads of bugs, right? Like I put zeroing and the bullet crack bug in there. People talking about being prone.
Double damage bug on blackout legs. Yeah, that one gets me all the time.
Yeah. Like the glass is glowing is coming up a lot.
Yeah.
Not being able to extract with a transition at the Alt F4. Yeah, the airing list is quite a good list. Prestige 3 tags will not go in the dog tag case. Classic. I saw a screenshot literally this morning of like, by the way, guys, Prestige 4 dog tags don't go in the in the dog tag case. Someone had a really funny response to the Prestige 4 dog tag being like, how can someone kill that which has no life?
Oh my god.
It was amazing.
That is a deep burn. Holy.
Yeah. Yeah, MP7, Suppressor Shadow.
Yeah.
Multi-hit bug from AI.
I can't tell if it's a case of, because when I looked through a couple of these, I did remember seeing this earlier, and I didn't really see anything that was like, I think Earwings just now was the first one that's like, oh yeah, that is a bug that I feel like I've always encountered since the beginning of Tarkov. I didn't really see too many, and I don't know if it's a case of like, people are blowing things out of proportion, so to speak. Like there's a lot of bugs in Tarkov, or if there's so many long-standing bugs that it's like you just like have become sort of like Stockholm syndrome towards them, and you can't like actually call them out. Like it just becomes so adapted to the environment.
Kind of, yeah. I think it's. I don't know. I think people have always overplayed the number of bugs in EFT. I feel like EFT is actually like, for its stage of development, it's actually probably, you could probably be more critical now than previously. But before even when I was starting to play right at the beginning, people were like, oh, it's like really buggy sometimes, but like, it's a good game, whatever. And I played it and I was like, based on what people had said on the internet, I was expecting it to be a mess. I was expecting it to be like, the original like DayZ mod level of jank. And when it wasn't anywhere near that, I was pleasantly surprised, and I was like, this game actually is fine most of the time. And it was like, yeah, back in the day we had like stutters and like stuff wouldn't work, busy hands bug and things like that. But I was like, it's like a fraction compared to what what I would expect now. And like even now, like you run into stuff occasionally, but for the amount of like things that happen and go on and work and do work, it's not that bad. I really don't think it's actually that bad.
Yeah, I think
like all games have bugs. You can read any forum, any Reddit page, right, and be like, "Oh, the game's a buggy mess," about any game. Yeah. I think it's any worse than any other game, really.
Yeah, I think people conflate like bad. I don't know. I wouldn't say design, but like the audio as like bugs, which some of it is related to bugs, but I just think it's like technical issues / limitations. Like remember when, what was it? I can't even remember. It's been so long, but like you could hear people. Yeah, you could hear people in factory inside the like dorms area. I don't even know what do you call that even. With all the floors, the center building, whatever. You could hear people on any floor, so you just so like the strat was like because you couldn't really play slow because if you did, then you would just get like ran up on basically like from behind or something. So you had to just like constantly run around like a madman basically. Like your only audio cue was like I think basically the second floor has the tiles, So you
Yeah.
can like determine that and like kind of
And the glass, like the end of one of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a little bit, but like I mean that one's a little bit more of a that's not something you pick up on your first couple of raids. It takes you a while.
Yeah.
So like yeah, new player experience is like dog awful, and then it has like it's a rough around the edges. I could see a lot of things getting like conflated for oh this game's like Eurojank bug Hell City. Like why is my AK-74 SU on single fire? This game's trash. That was me. I said that comment. This game's so buggy.
Yes. Speaking of, have you seen this one? This one's funny, and the reason why I noted this one is Nikita actually replied to this. This is a very bad scav video. 1.0 ready, free crosshair. Just skip like I don't know, 15 seconds in or something.
Where is it? What is this?
Oh, it's just I put it in the document. So it's on.
Oh, free guest. Oh, free guest. Okay.
Yeah, that one. Which is good. It's just a classic Tarkovism. You can't remove the gas can out of the generator, and then it's like, oh, it's in the middle of the screen. Oh no, oh no, it's in the raid too. Like, it's just like in the middle. And Nikita literally replied to this and just said, "Please enjoy this free gas tank. It's not a bug." So like, he's got a sense of humor about this stuff.
Yeah. Classic.
Okay, so what else then? Other random stuff. So there was an AI detection patch. People have been complaining about any advanced AI, so non-scav AI, all the others, raiders, rogues, guards, etc., being just like completely cracked. So I heard this while I wasn't playing, so thank goodness, because I didn't have to deal with it, which is good. But yeah, people were just saying like, you walk around the corner and then soon actually, I think we did talk about this last week. So anyway, they supposedly made this change, adjusted the detection rate, firing accuracy of the bosses, boss guards, raiders, rogues, and PMC bots in PvP and PvE zone. So they did this, and everyone was like, this is great. And then a day later, I saw everyone being like, it didn't change anything. So I don't think they announced anything after this, but apparently they did tweak it again, it seems. I'm not sure exactly what happened. And supposedly now it is better. Like, again, I haven't actually fought any advanced AI in the last, I only played for 3 hours today for the first time in like a week. So, but supposedly it is better. Apparently it's not quite as crazy, but I don't know what they did. Like maybe they did something. They made some change that they then had to like rework. And now it's like AI is like not quite the same as it was, but it's better, but it isn't the same as it used to be. Something weird like that. I'm not 100% sure. They released a very odd bundle, which is PvE and Arena together. So so this is kind of like the standard account teaser deal. If you're on the standard account and you haven't paid for anything else, you don't have either of these two things.
Yeah.
So if you weren't going to upgrade to the UHE edition, because I don't even want to say its name, then these are kind of the things that you're missing outside of like all of the garbage that comes with that version, right? But it's kind of pricey. I think somebody elsewhere said that they'd up the price of PvE separately, maybe.
PvE's $30.
Something along those lines, from like 20 to 30, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't it 20 at some point? Maybe it was like whatever. I don't know.
I don't know. But I mean, like, so because like the Euro version of Tarkov is like the base version, and then the NA version for some reason is like the NA specific version. The EU version you can use anywhere, but it's like slightly more expensive. Do you remember that thing where you could upgrade from the US version to the EU version? Like super weird. So this bundle here, because yours says what, $55? Yeah, so the EU version is like 57 euros, right? So it's like, and the exchange rate isn't that way around.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you that for free. So like, it doesn't really make any sense. And that's also with no taxes or anything. And fees. So it's just weird, but I don't know. Just it's what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
117. So that's like 57 times 117. So it's like, so that's it's $67 equivalent with the exchange rate.
I mean, how much? So, like, for me, if I look at the PvE upgrade and then the EFT Arena upgrade, like, separately, it's in total, seven, no, $65. So I'm saving $10 buying this bundle. I'm curious if, like, what you're
It's
saving.
yeah, it's 67 euros if you don't do anything. So you save 10 euros.
Yeah. Okay. But yours is just more expensive because of you.
Just because EU,
Just because of you.
for whatever reason.
Classic.
So yeah, if you feel like spending a bunch of money on both these things, you get a 10 money discount, regardless of which region you're in. 10 monies, it's 10 monies less.
10 monies
And
less.
you can have both of these things, PvE and Arena.
And for $14, you can buy USEC Day Off as well.
This is true. You can buy yourself a floral Hawaiian shirt so you can pay to lose. I can't seem to get back to it anymore.
It's funny
What have I
how...
done?
I mean, it makes sense. It's just funny how the game has changed so much monetarily. Now we have, like, basically microtransactions, little add-ons, stash line upgrades, like, where it used to be, like, EOD or bust, basically was the... you had, like, standard account and EOD, and, like, presumably half the player base was EOD, was the assumption.
How much was USEC Day Off in dollars?
14.
It's 14 euros as well, what a joke.
Yeah.
1-to-1, baby! EU discrimination, I tell you. God damn it. Anyway, okay, so what was next on my list? So we had a community digest. This doesn't really tell us much, except, well, they kind of put it out. They didn't really write anything. It's just got 1.0 on the right-hand side. This is the 6th one. It's just got all the things we talked about before. Oh, recent cheaters banned 5,100. And the last patch was Arena in September with some game mechanic rework, but not really cares. This one was kind of cool. So I think we talked previously about the Arena weapon tasks, where if you do them and you're the first 1,000 people, you get like your name. So BSG actually released a list of the people who were the first players to get like the unlocked weapon in each of these, which is like kind of cool. So this guy Rapid Rust, he was the first person to do any of them. I think the M4, because the M4 is like the one that people are going for.
Yeah.
You know, the M4 is kind of like it's the gun, right? I'm not sure what they're up to now. Maybe like 300 or something on the M4. So there's still plenty of numbers to go for like the other guns if you wanted to have like a numbered weapon or whatever, because it's gonna take a while, right? Not that many people play Arena, and not many people play it on that level where you have to go and do something stupid in like Blast Gang or Teamfight. Like most people just can't be bothered. But yeah, there's like a bunch of different people who've got this, and this guy Rapid Rust has got the first number. It's like 001 for both the M4 and the MDR.
Grinder.
So props to him. Yeah, grinding. Exactly.
I see Walker's got one for the SIG MZX 300 Blackout.
Yeah, exactly. He's the only other person that I recognized on that list, but yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, it's kind of cool. I'm not going to do it, I don't think, but it's kind of cool. Like, I might do it for one of them maybe, but like something random. It's like not too hard. I'm not doing like 2 aces in Blast Gang or Teamfight though. Like, I'm not doing that. That's just not going to happen. It's going to take too long. Yeah, so I think, and that's it. So I think that's it. So we're basically in the like 1.0, path to 1.0, see what happens, see if there's any more stuff. I think we're basically off the roadmap, because the roadmap now finished as of the previous. Let me just make sure. Like, it finished as of the previous one. We had like the August in-game event, which a lot of people were disappointed about, was that little like text adventure thing. With the fall weather season and some optimizations, and then like ref got added to PvE, and that's it. So like the next thing on the ticket is the release. So whether we get anything between now and then, I don't know. We'll probably get something, some event or whatever. I'm sure they've got plans like to lead into it, I'm sure. So we will see. But as of now, they're kind of just like head down, doing their thing, going to the conventions, marketing the game for release, and making some headlines and yada yada. I mean, I have seen the headlines out there, but the usual games people Jake
Mm-hmm.
Lucky and like other people just like retweeting, being like, Bad State Games are finally going to release their game. So like, they're getting coverage,
Yeah.
they're getting press. So we're just in that runway.
In the meantime, well, maybe not in the meantime, but I got some games, 5 games, the Yosha wish list. Now these games, I kind of miss doing this segment. This was like a favorite segment of mine, but I haven't really made the time to like play some demos. However, all of these games, they don't have demos, so I don't have to worry about that. But these are games that I'm excited for because I quite like playing the games. It's just like playing the demos. You get more of a concrete idea of what the game actually is than you do from like any trailer.
Mm.
Um, but I heard about this game, which is called Billy Bust Up, and it is basically an action platformer, but it's in the very like classic Disney animated movies musical. So there's these very like big set pieces with like musical numbers and whatnot, and it's got quite a good art style here. You can, for people seeing on video, very like colorful, almost like a cartoon, 3D animated, but then like a cartoon drawn as character. But yeah, looks like it could be fun. Billy
Looks
Bust
very
Up.
platformy.
Yeah, I like a good platformer game, but it has to be compelling in some form or manner. It's
Mm.
not. It's kind of sucks today. It's just like you just can't be a good game. It's like you got to be somehow compelling. Give me that edge. So maybe Disney musicals will be that that edge. Okay, next up, I have Withersworn. Basically, all right, it's that one PlayStation or is it PS2 game? Where you like slay giants. What is it called? Do you know what I'm talking about? Shadow of the
Oh, I
Colossus.
didn't play it. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's like that, but you have a grapple and you got like a jet board, hoverboard, and you're just like slinging around this thing. Looks very cool.
It looks
It's
kind of
just
cool. The movement looks nice.
Yeah, it's described as like a spectacle fighter, hack and slash, parkour type of game. You're just fighting this giant monstrosity. Looks like it could be fun.
Looks neat.
All right, weebs. Don't worry, I didn't forget about you. Abyss X Zero. Explore an expansive world in this 3D Metrovania with carefully crafted dungeon stylish combat. Take control of 2 different characters, fated to battle each other. Codename A and Codename Z. Legendary heroes with unique abilities that change how you fight and interact with the environment. What do you think of my reading there? Was it pretty top tier?
It was good.
Try to really get
You should
into the
get
anime.
your voice over the to narrate this thing.
But no, this you're like I don't know. I saw this from a different game that someone had recommended, and they're like, hey, this is this older game, and then the studio is working on this newer game that's in development, and yeah, 3D action platformer, anime girl with a giant weapon. Sign me up. That's right.
It's very kind of like sort of Final Fantasy in some way. In some ways, there's like the motorbike. Like it looks like there's like a lot of like Final Fantasy VII influences in this thing.
Yeah,
Kind
I
of
can, I
the
can see
sort
that.
of
You got
sci-fi-ness of it, but with like the motorbike and the big sword and everything. It's got like
yeah,
quite a few things coming
yeah.
out of this.
All right, this one I'm really intrigued by. It's called Compound Fracture. Very retro PS1 graphics featuring guns, first-person camera, and dinosaurs. And I don't know, it just looks so moody. It's very dark. It's got that PS1, PSX kind of filter to it. The textures
Mm.
and stuff are like wobbling a bit. I don't know. I'm kind of a sucker for like these like retro indie games. You know what I mean? They're like,
Mm.
remember the good old days, nostalgia bait of playing whatever game on your PlayStation. It's like I'm just a sucker for it. But yeah, this looks really. I'm super curious because I watched a video review about Dino Crisis, which is like Capcom's, you know, second attempt, or not really second attempt, but they did like a. It's basically very similar to Resident Evil,
Hmm.
but it's featuring dinos, and then it's like the same base game. It didn't really work out too well. And then they went like a completely different direction with the sequel, whatever. But I don't know, just something about the concept has interested me because if you like horror survival but with dinosaurs, it's like something like that. I feel like could be really fun, but I haven't experienced
Hmm.
anything like that. So I'm hoping this would be that.
Could be cool. It looks cool. I like the aesthetic.
Yeah, it's got a great art direction.
Very grungy.
Yes. Okay, last one. Void Martyrs. A grim dark survival horror about a nun in space, in a spacesuit, scavenging amongst drifting space cathedrals. Balance your faith with survival and craft the tools of your salvation. This is a horror, psychological horror, dark game. It's top down. It's got like a very dark, moody aesthetic to it. Looks like lighting is playing a big role into it. I'm not too sure about the gameplay. I think I actually may have gotten invited to a playtest for it, but I didn't participate. Um, but yeah, nonetheless, the premise is a space nun in a spacesuit scavenging space cathedrals. I mean, I don't know. It's got to have some like dark horror elements to it that could be intriguing.
This kind of crazy. Yeah, the flashlight seems to be like the main deal. It looks very dark. It reminds me. I mean, immediately I just think of. It's not really the same kind of game, but you think of like a Diablo or something. It looks quite,
Yeah, it's kind of
chaotic,
got that
evil.
that
Got that
yeah
cathedral-y sort of demons and stuff going on.
yeah, and it's got that same type of perspective, almost like top down.
Yeah, yeah, with
Yeah,
the way that the light kind of goes.
yeah, and I'm assuming. I mean, again, I've only really like add this to my wish list at most and saw like a trailer, but I'm assuming it's a little bit more survivally oriented, just
Mm.
based off the nature of the gameplay and the premise of it. But
Yeah, and it
yeah,
says like craft your tools and whatnot. So it's
yeah.
sounds like it. That's kind of interesting.
But yeah, those were my 5 games that I grabbed this week off my wish list that didn't have demos. I got like so many demos to play through. Someone had submitted they like recommended a game,
Hmm.
which I actually do have it in my library. I just need to play it. But yeah, if anyone has any game recommendations or games wish lists you want to like send my way, please do so. I love finding a good game in like my little game library.
Yeah. There's so many as well. Like
I
recommendations are so
know.
good, right? Because it's so hard to figure out on your own. Just like there's a lot of rubbish out there.
Yeah.
So I did manage to do a little bit of research this last
Okay.
week, despite all of the craziness on Nvidia smooth frames. Because so last week I basically came on right and said the thing sucks. I can't make it work at all. And in the meanwhile, I have gone away, thought hard about the problem, gone through like the Blurbusters guide for like G-Sync or whatever, which did actually help, by the way. I didn't realize that you were supposed to have. I mean, not that I didn't realize. Basically, the extent of what I did with G-Sync was I bought the monitor, I plugged it in, and then I checked G-Sync yes in NVIDIA control panel, and thought nothing of it further than that. So going through the guide, I was like, oh, you're actually supposed to do like some things to make it work properly. Interesting. Like I've always kind of, I sort of thought that it was replacing VSync, for example.
Yeah.
Just assumed, right? Like, oh, VSync's the old tech, like, monitor on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have VSync, and then G-Sync's replacing it. Fine. I didn't realize you're supposed to have VSync on as well. It improves the performance, actually. They do two slightly different things. So I went through, tinkered with the settings based on the guide, and that seemed to help a little bit. And the other thing that renewed my interest was there was an NVIDIA driver update, which I did. And after I did that, it seems to work a lot better. so this is good. So I've now actually made some headway and some progress on the problem, rather than just being like, it sucks, I can't see where you'd ever use this. And it's interesting. Now, given that I started getting some decent results out of it, I was like, right, well, now we actually need to do some experiments, some proper experiments. The issue is you're sort of in that experimental phase of how do you test latency? Because there's really two things about this. It's like, A, does it actually work? Does it give you more perceived smoothness?
Yeah.
First thing, right? Like, if it doesn't do that, then there's no point using it at all. So, okay, if it does do that in some capacity, then the question is, what happens to the latency?
Yeah.
How much worse is it, if at all? Which, you know, it kind of has to be in some fashion, but how bad is it going to be? So I was like, fine. I can see that the frame gen actually is working, and it's not like just tanky performance like it was previously. But now we need to figure out like how much the latency is changing from one to the other. And I still probably need to do a few more tests, but I have like a list. I have like a whole A4 sheet full of data, because I ran into that immediate problem of, well, how exactly do you even test latency, you know?
Yeah.
And like people doing these tests, there's a whole suite for like G-Sync and like things you can do, which, you know, measure like an input and then see the output and can actually measure the time distance. Obviously, I don't have any of those things to hand. So I was like, how else can I do this? Like trying to think outside the box a little bit. And just browsing a few solutions online just to get some ideas, I was like, I'm going to investigate going down the route of using the slow-mo mode on my phone, because everyone's phone has a slow-mo mode these days, pretty much everybody. And I'd looked into it, and it's, depending on what it was doing, it seems anywhere between like 240 hertz up to like 900, depending on what setting it was, what phone it was, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm not really sure exactly what this is going to do, but we'll start from there. So I did like a little experiment first, which was in the slow-mo mode, moving the screen around and looking at the FPS counter while I was like moving my mouse around, because what that let me do was measure how many actual, because you can see the screen update, which is like kind of cool to see it as well, and to see that it's working as well. You know, there's no tearing or anything, because you can see it, like, and it's like really in this slow-mo mode. So it's like, okay, well, I got this many frames, I can see this many frames from Tarkov displayed, and I can see the frame rate. As long as it's stable enough, I can work out what rate the camera is running at, because I got X number of frames in, you know, certain number of like camera frames. So I can basically work the ratio out. And it is exactly 240 FPS, it turns out, for the camera that I've got, which I was like, okay. That's kind of handy. So 240 is like higher than the refresh rate of my monitor, so that's no problem. Like, even if I'm at, you know, capped out at 165 or something, I will still see every frame, maybe with a bit of like slippage or whatever, but like I'll be capturing every frame anyway. So what I've basically done is like had my mouse, and this is basically as accurate as I can get it, right? Have my mouse up to the screen,
right? Yeah,
with my phone, and then I click as fast as I physically can to get a nice sharp impulse, and then I see when the weapon fires on my monitor.
Yeah,
which is kind of interesting. So it's like as soon as my finger touches, like, because you can see my finger coming like and it's like as soon as I see the like the button like flex at all, I'm like, okay, that's the beginning. And then we just wait a few frames, and then like, okay, and there's the blast. And it's really like, it's quite interesting what I've got so far. Let me just find out, what's it called again? Smooth frames. So I got a little picture. I'm gonna make a video about this because I think it's interesting. Where I've got to so far is I did 3 experiments.
Okay.
1 at max frame rate, so that was bots off on factory, and 2 different frame rates on streets. 1 at 44 FPS and 1 at 33 FPS, because you can engineer that by going into Beluga and then looking down a scope. Because it's like the worst performing area in the whole game.
I thought you were like,
really
and then
bad.
I capped my FPS at 33. I'm like, that's a weird number. No, you just pulled up a scope.
No.
That's so funny.
If you're in offline mode with all the stuff running on your own PC, and all the bots and all the bosses, and you go to Beluga and then you look down an LPVO, I can engineer 33 FPS on my machine, which is pretty sad to begin with, right? The fact that that's even possible. So I've got a 158/164 FPS version. I've got 44 and 33. So yeah, it's interesting actually so far. So like the latency based on my experiment in the control, I guess, which is just using like Nvidia Reflex. So it's my monitor's 165 max, but it caps to 158 with Reflex, and all the other gubbins, VSync on and G-Sync on, and all the other stuff that the Blowbusters guide said. That gets me to 150 FPS and an average latency across all the tests that I did of 34 milliseconds, which is actually not too bad. It's okay. I think it probably can be lower, but 34, like it seems seamless to me.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're like an actual pro, I don't think most people would notice that. Turning on smooth motion doesn't give me any more frames, obviously, because I'm already up against my FPS limit. But it does increase the the latency from 34 to 68.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which is, it's
still fairly small.
It's a little, but it's still fairly small. Like if you're not paying attention or you're not playing super sweaty, you probably won't really notice. But it doesn't give you any extra frames. It's kind of no point. Now, what was really interesting is that at both the 44 frames, so what basically is happening is I've got 44 frames base and then 88 frames in the smooth motion version, and 33 frames base versus 66 frames in the smooth motion version. Really weirdly, and I didn't expect this to be the case, I get loads of input lag at those low frames without smooth motion, even just normally.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, it makes sense though, because you're applying inputs and your GPU is like waiting to like process data and then put it on your screen. Meanwhile, you're like already on to the next input. There's just like a little bit of like, there's a visual, literal desynchronization happening.
Yeah, it's like something to do with like the way that frames buffer and stuff, and when you're CPU bound, and like it's it's kind of weird. I did read about this, but I'm not 100% certain on the technicals as to why this occurs.
Same.
And whether I can get rid of it as well. I don't know if I can like make it go away. I'm not really sure. Whether it's something to do with the setup, I'm not totally sure. But in all cases, so 44 and 44 times 2, 33 and 33 times 2, basically with smooth motion on and off, the average latency of my system ranged somewhere between 95 and 100 milliseconds, no matter what I did.
That's with it off?
That is with it on and off.
Yeah. I mean,
either.
I think realistically, like if you had a better testing environment, you probably would see an increase. But you're doing like a real world latency, I guess. Like,
yeah,
whereas like if you
it's
were
got
to
everything in it.
Yeah, you're doing like a real end-to-end latency, like from user to the screen. Which, like, I guess that makes sense why you wouldn't see an increase, because your bottleneck is like your GPU updating, like your monitor receiving.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's like hidden elsewhere. So I was interested because I think I'm going to go back and try like 60 FPS, because the streets is so varied. You can get any FPS you like depending on where you stand. So you can find a place that's like 60. So I might try like 60 and then see if that's any different. And if it's not, then like go to 85. Because at some point they detach, and I don't know where.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know where.
And maybe it's just me, or maybe it's just streets. I don't really know. Like there's more variables in this that I'm not just certain about. Because the first one I did with like max frames, that's on factory. It's a different map. And it's not GPU bound. Sorry, it's not. It's probably not CPU bound actually on factory, is it? I think you're more GPU bound. So it might be a different regime, you see. Because it's so small and I had no bots. So the CPU's got nothing to work on. So the frames go through the roof and the GPU gets maxed out because now it's bound graphically rather than like on any CPU calcs. Whereas on streets with all the bots on, that's how I managed to tank the frame rate, because I was CPU bottlenecking myself. Leaves the GPU free to do stuff, which wasn't the case in the factory one, which then means we're like, oh yeah, it has all the time in the world to do all of the, frame gen, add a frame in the middle, all the other nonsense, because it's sat waiting anyway, because it's waiting for the CPU to do stuff. So
yeah,
maybe that's the deal. So I'm intrigued to see what happens, because basically the conclusion that I want to come to is if your frames suck on streets and they're awful, you may as well do this, because your latency is not getting any, you've already probably got input lag actually.
Yeah, that's
and so you may as well have the perceived smoothness,
well, that's the other question I was gonna ask. Like, even when it's at 33 FPS, is it like, does it actually look better? Because I find that sometimes when you're in that low frame rate, the frame gen ends up taking away from the experience and actually adding. You'll get like stuff like morphing into your into like reality, because it's like trying to interpolate, like you bring up the inventory. If the inventory, for example, was like instant, they just instantly popped up, there was no like transition how it's in Tarkov. You cut on frame gen, it's like it'll just like morph. There's gonna be a frame between those frames of your inventory problems. You like morph an inventory together.
Like there is there is a frame of that weirdness sometimes for certain things.
Okay.
So, but with genuinely with the update, it seems a lot better. Like I said last time, right? It was like unplayable. Things like you'd run around streets and the whole sets of stairs would be like just like vibrating on the corner. You're just like, what is going on? You're like hallucinating around the map. Like, what the hell?
Like interdimensional. Whereas
this time
stairs are like traveling out of time or something.
Yeah, they're about to just like fall out of space time or something.
Yeah.
But genuinely with the update, it has been a lot better. It's a lot more stable. I think there must have just been something wrong, or maybe it's some of the updates I made as well have helped. I don't really know, but it's all the things together have meant that it's now like it's playable with the frame gen on. The latency is still there, obviously, but the perception of the movement is like 66, so the screen looks way nicer. Because when it gets that low, it really is chunky. When you're playing at like 40 FPS with the scope, it really is chunky. So if people are playing like PvE, for example, where the latency isn't as important, you can play at like 80 rather than 40 or whatever. Like that's actually probably going to be a nicer experience if you're already getting horrible latency anyway because you're CPU band and stuff. So that's kind of the thing. I just want to I don't really have any skin in the game either which way. It's more like there's a tool, like is there a use case for it? Like it's not for everybody, but for some people it might actually be the thing that changes the game from being like there's latency and it sucks on the FPS to okay, there's latency, but like at least it looks smoother now. I can kind of see what's going on. It doesn't feel like I'm fighting the slideshow, as it goes through. So we'll see. We'll see. Kind of on that note, I had a long conversation today on stream about maybe upgrading for 1.0, which I might do. 9800 X3D, whatever. I need to go and look at some prices, but like I probably should go to M5. Like 1.0 would be a great time to do it. Like I upgraded to the 5000 X3D for streets in the first place. So it's like, 1.0 would be nice to have like a rig that runs everything, especially if like there's a load of scenes that are quite like intensive. There's like a million AI. There's Black Division everywhere. Stuff. It's like the worst thing. I just don't want to be sat there at like 45 FPS because they haven't optimized it yet because it's like the first release of it. And so just
that would never happen, Giga. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. The first release of these new maps or whatever is like always perfectly optimized. It's definitely the way. So I may well do that. I need to have a look at how much it is. I was saying to people, like, it's like, as much as I'm perfectly capable of doing this, I don't really enjoy it. And if I could just pay the money and it would just like appear in the box, I'd probably do it much more readily than pay the money, wait a day, have all of the things arrive, and then we have to disassemble my life's work to to recreate Exordia, as you say, and put this thing back together. Because it's fundamentally it's like motherboard, RAM, CPU, really.
Yeah.
GPU I'm just going to keep. I've got the cooler, I've got the case, got all the hard drives and stuff. So it's mainly those three things, but they're just like they're the heart of the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Thermal paste, and they're oh god, it's just it's so painful.
Yeah.
So we will see.
Yeah, for those reasons and more, I'm holding out for some time. I don't know how long, but probably till I like don't meet the minimum requirements for stuff anymore. Because like, it's just like, oh man, like I really want to get an AMD GPU, the 6900 whatever. I don't know, it's the naming schemes, but the prices are just like
7900 XTX whatever.
Yeah, something like that. But the prices have just been like above MSRP, and I'm like, I just can't. I'm really not even that desperate for it. You know what I mean? Like it would be nice, but like the only time
sweet VRAM though.
Yeah, the main issue I would like to overcome is like being able to stream and play a game and like can't consistently have my max frame rate like 138 with like my monitor's 144. I think I can overclock it to 165, but I haven't really bothered. But with reflex on, it's 138. But yeah, it's like that would be like a nice thing to have. Otherwise, I can play basically anything. And like I played Tarkov long enough to put up with it. I just accept streets as hot dog water. But you know,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. Maybe one day when things. It's just tough right now in the market with like GPU and then did we? I think we talked about this last week. Maybe not, but Intel was like shutting down, making cuts, and
Yeah.
like you know, AMD. They've like Ryzen was like hit the scene, super good price performance, like the value is insane. You still have a bit of that, but like it's like kind of gone the way of we're gonna give you a little bit. You're still getting some value, but not as much as you were getting back when the first, the OGs dropped. Because their prices have kind of like increased, but you do get more. The technology's increased. It's a constant E and all type of situation, but yeah, it's just tough
Mm.
with
It is
the
kind of mad. I'm looking now.
pricing on things.
I mean, it seems like things even more. It's like I haven't done a deep search, but it's like things here seem like even more expensive than they were before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
Which
the
is just mad.
case.
It's like a 4070 Ti Super. You can buy one second hand for like £600, but the ones that are new here are like 850.
Yeah, the market's
That
cursed.
is the Ti without Super. That's 850. That's 800. That's 756. That's pre-owned. It's like it's insane. I haven't seen one new less than £800, right? And I bought mine like a year ago for like 770. It's only gone up.
Yeah,
What? Is that how it's supposed to work?
at one point I looked, I could like sell my 3070 secondhand for almost as much as I paid for it when I bought it back in the day.
Like it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just insane. It's
Cray
just
cray.
insane.
Speaking of crazy,
Ay ay ay.
you know what drives me crazy? Stutters. You know who may fix them possibly? Microsoft? So I saw a video from Digital Foundry Clips, DF Clips. Thank you, YouTube algorithm, by the way. And it was them talking about this subject. Microsoft to advance shader delivery on PC. Now, basically, the long and short of it is that Microsoft is working on improving, I guess, with like DirectX 12. They want to like quote unquote fix this like shader compilation issue, because basically when you play a game you gotta like your system has to compile all these shaders, and then otherwise if you were to do that on the fly your game would just be constantly like stuttering. It's just not a good experience. So a lot of games what they do is they do like a pre-shader compilation where you boot up the game and then now you gotta sit there for like however long while the shaders compile, do all the pre-calcs, but this stuff takes up space and there's issues associated with it. There's been attempts at like more dynamic systems, but it in the end it's just like it's kind of an issue that you can't really necessarily well some various people are trying different things, Microsoft being one of them. So point being, to Microsoft and what they're trying to do, I'm probably going to just reference this PC Gamer article here, but they are right now they're developing for the Rogue Ally X, which I think is kind of like their version of like a Steam Deck, basically.
Right.
But it runs like Xbox / Windows Microsoft thing, whatever. And I think while they're like, it says while that they're handheld Xbox consoles are focused for now, it will be providing an agility SDK to PC developers and gaming storefronts this September, which will lead to more devs and platforms getting on board with this idea. So, but the article goes into detail, which I think the video does too, mention how the issue is it's a lot harder for people like to develop this stuff when you're talking about PC components, because everyone's computer is different. You got like AMD GPUs, various different GPUs. You got Nvidia GPUs, very different GPUs. So a lot of this is very complicated, and I think there's some like cloud-based technology behind it. Basically, the the shaders need to be compiled in a GPU-specific format, which is why your PC gets to work building them for your hardware when a game first runs or entering a new area. This process can sap valuable resources away from the rest of your machine, meaning games can hitch, stutter, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Microsoft solutions to collect the shader data from games and package it up with a new standardized format called a state object database, which is then downloaded alongside the game, provided pre-baked shaders, and eliminate the dread stutters for good. So it's basically they're going to do the shader compilation for you, so to speak, and now you just download that. But the problem is, as I said, everyone's got different hardware, so there's like a problem there. But nonetheless,
that's why it started, right?
in a way, yeah. And then I think Epic's looking into a similar thing, and there was some other Nix's software. It's got its like own solution for the Marvel Spider-Man remastered port. But anyways, there could be advancements, and that would be great because man, some of the games I like to play are just like it's just like you just get like jerked out experience so much when it's just like stutters for like a good second or two, and you're doing like action combat, gameplay. It's just like but yeah, I thought that was cool. Might be something in the future to look forward to.
Interesting. We'll have to see.
Time will tell. Speaking of time, let's go back in time to 2004, maybe. I don't know. Whenever Pokemon was hot, probably like 2000, early 2000s, like maybe in 19...
Forever.
Yeah,
like
I mean, you're right about that.
Through to 2025 is hot. Pokemon's hot forever.
It's kind of crazy how much like staying power that franchises had. It's actually crazy. But I came across, long story short, I've been looking at, are you familiar with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic? The video game?
I know of it, and I've played a little bit.
There was the original games, back in like 2004-ish, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and it's made by BioWare, and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, made by Obsidian. And it was like a sequel. And then in like 2011, there was I think another BioWare MMO spin-off of Star Wars Knights of the Republic. Anyways, point is, I went down like memory lane of the original games because I remember playing those, and I watched the videos. I was like, oh, I want to mod Star Wars 2 or Knights of the Republic 2 because it's like basically troubled development. They couldn't really put all the content in. The community over like course of 20 years I've like made this giant singular restored content mod. I was like, this would be fun. So went down that rabbit hole, found someone who was doing some other mods, like minor fixes and modernization stuff. And then I saw that they had, I went to like their personal website or whatever. Like they have like a list of all mods, and they had mentioned a game that was their favorite game, which was called Cassette Beasts. And I was like, okay. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, not really too sure about this, but I think when I got it, it was on sale. So I was like, all right, I'll buy it. I'll try it. They recommended it. I like their mods, whatever. By the way, I haven't actually played the KOTOR 2. I've just only modded it. It's still sitting on my library. But
classic.
I know. It's such a classic me moment. So this game is essentially, yeah, I mean, it pretty much is just like Pokemon RPG Maker. But I thought it was like first of all, it's just very endearing. Like, I've really gotten sucked into it. Took me a little bit to get sucked into the story, but basically, the general premise is you wake up and you don't know your surroundings. You're in this new town, and the place is called New World. And basically, you find out that people have been like transported to this place from various times and timelines and locations. You don't know why. And oh yeah, you use like cassette tapes to capture and record monsters to fight with them. And it even mentions a line like, don't ask how it works, it just does, just accept it. And and then you discover that there's these beings called archangels, which are like these crazy giant looking, monsters, and they're even like, because the game is very pixel arty, right? And it kind of has like the pseudo 3D element, but
Mm.
these archangels are like true 3D, like they're rendered in a very stylized way. Like one looks like almost like Freddy's, uh, Five Nights at Freddy's type of art style, and so now you're trying to like unravel the mystery of what these archangels, like, what do they want? Why are they so like creepy and eerie and yada yada? How do you escape this place? And you play with a companion. You get to like uh there's like various companions you can like swap out and whatnot. And then the cool part is a couple cool parts I found out through the mechanics of the game. Because in Pokemon you always gotta have type advantage. Well, this has like 8 or 10 types. I don't know, but it's got some ones that are like, this is kind of weird. One is like plastic as a type.
Oh,
Yeah, metal and poison. I think those are like some of the more, you
traditional
know,
ones.
yeah. And I was
What do you
like,
mean?
plastic was like, like toy soldier type of, like, one of them is
Okay.
like, one of the moves is like toy hammer. It's like literally like a big bonk hammer that you hit someone with. It's just like, but very complex system there. But the two things I really liked is that, one, you can fuse two like cassette beasts together. Like you and your companion, you can do like a fusion, which I just love, like the fusion gimmick and like these types of medias, like, any
Hmm.
like anime or stuff. Like, come on, bro, with the power of you and I, we can fuse together, become one super being. Like, I just love stuff like that. And they have unique sprites for everything. There's like 130 some beasts, and then you do all the fusion combinations. Like, that's, I don't know the math, but that's got to be a lot. Which I like.
That's actually pretty cool. Like the combination, the tree there, that's like much more interesting than just the evolution system from Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I thought that was really cool. And I don't know all the details about the fusion because it seems like sometimes you get unique moves. But then the
Mm.
the other really cool part is your actual move list for the Pokemon or monsters. And because one thing I hate about, because I some time ago I tried playing a Pokemon ROM hack. I got YouTube recommended top 10 Pokemon ROM hacks, and I went down the ROM hack world, and I was like, okay, I'm finally gonna play one. I played like Pokemon Unbound, some ROM hack, and it was like, yeah, I had trouble getting into it. I mean, it's just like it's like still at its core Pokemon, and you have to like kind of like accept a lot of the Pokemon things. It's very impressive what they're able to do with the ROM hack, but like its core is still Pokemon. You still got like four moves. You got like the system where when you use too many moves, you're like, you got to go recharge, and I don't know. Just I don't know. I don't know if I'm coming across making sense, but it's just, it wasn't like different enough
Yep.
for me to really get into. It's still very
Yeah.
impressive, all the systems they put in. Like, they had like a whole quest system, like new UI improvements, added in a bunch of Pokemon. It's still like very technically impressive. But anyways, jumping back to this, with your moves here, they're called stickers because your beasts are basically like little cassettes, and they'll have like a cute
Mm.
little avatar picture on the cassette, and then the moves are called stickers, and you can peel stickers and then put them on any other character. So you could take, let's say you catch, something, and you're like, oh, I don't really like this one, but I'm gonna just like remove all of its stickers in my inventory. Now I got all these stickers, and you can just see what you can put on different characters or something. It's like the crafting there, I really appreciate. And it's kind of got this like MMORPG system where certain moves will be like uncommon, they'll have like a special modifier, and like rare, which will have like some crazy modifier. And I don't know, just for like this weird little niche Pokemon game from like 2003, I was like, as I got into it, I was like really surprised at like how much this
Hmm.
has been put into the game, as far as, because then you got like the open world exploring, which is also just like a lot of fun. And you got a kind of Metrovania as you explore. You get new overworld abilities where you can like fly or mess up electricity stuff, and then you got like puzzles. Like, I was just really surprised at how when I first saw this person's that recommended this Martyrs review, that was like, this is my favorite game. I was like, okay, a Pokemon game, really? But now that I've played it, I was like, okay, yeah, I can see it. This is just like a really, really well crafted Pokemon game experience. I'm still playing through it. I think I got like 20 to 30 hours. Like I think I spent my entire Sunday playing. Like probably played 8 hours on and off the last Sunday, and it's great.
That's cool.
Great.
Yeah, it's like combinatorics the game, it's just like, well, here's all the things, and then you can fuse them, and then you can do all the sticker stuff, and you can take them off, you can put them on whatever you like. It's just like,
yeah,
just like the decision tree or whatever. It's like, the amount of different things you can do. I always love games like that because there's always something kind of broken, or you're like, oh, I found this like super OP build, effectively OP build. Is there any like penalty for taking the stickers off of things, or can you just like move stuff around as you like?
You just move stuff around. Now, I mean, it's not universal. Like, you still have stickers that, like there are universal stickers, but there's, for example, like a fire type can't just like accept a grass type move.
Yeah,
usually,
okay.
not always. I mean, there's exceptions, but I mean, there's a ton, like there's like probably like 1,000 plus moves. Like there's a ton, and then you have like a sticker shop that resets every game day. So like, and then there's upgrades. You can get more lists. There's like gambling sticker packet machines. Like there's, I mean, there's gotta be like so much content in this game. It's ridiculous. If you like, depending on how you look at it. I mean, you could just play it just for the story, which totally am. And I really enjoy the side characters, your companions. Like one of the I'm just gonna have to give spoilers, but like one of them, you find out like she was a part of a cult, and you end up having to go back to the cult, and I won't spoil the details, but it gets very like emotional. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. It's pretty good.
It seems a lot. It's almost This is the thing with these games. This is why the recommendations are important, because like you just don't know any of this from just seeing the thing. You're just like, a Pokemon game, but it's cassettes instead. Like, okay,
yeah. It's just it's hard because it's like there's so many games, and you see a trailer, it just looks like another game. It's really hard to quantify these things based off a trailer alone. Like I imagine, that's like half the battle of making a game is selling people on your game.
Yeah, especially if it's kind of complex a little bit as to why it's good.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like immediately like, oh, the premise is cool, then that's kind of one thing. But if it's like, well, it's just you got to understand the systems a bit to see why this is like way more than just a normal Pokemon game. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I'll be interested to see how you think about it when you're kind of like finished.
Yeah. Oh, it's also got, I haven't experimented with this, but there's also an online component. It says your PvP. I think you can battle each other. You can probably do cooperative story. I actually bought this. I think I got it on sale for 50% off. I actually gifted it to a friend as well, who they're currently playing Hollow Knight, which, or Silksong, which is crazy because I haven't played Hollow Knight. I haven't played it. And, it's kind of one of those things, like it's become so infamous, like so notorious, so prestigious that, I feel like I'm missing, if I play it now and I'm just like, wow, this game is amazing. You know what I mean? Everyone's gonna be like, yeah, duh, we told you. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, so I don't know. It's kind of hard to get into that for that reason. But point is, I saw that apparently the Steam store and like a bunch of other stores were like having issues because so many people were trying to purchase this game, Silksong, which is just like, whoa, like you are the only dev who is allowed to do pre-orders from now on. Like,
yeah,
like this is the reason why pre-orders is. But yeah, I thought that was crazy. Like, I mean, that's got to be like the hugest amount of compliment for your game is like you crashed the Steam store single-handedly.
Yeah, no, it is bad. I did even hear about that. I saw the headline while I was like busy doing stuff, and I was like, "What is this thing anyway?" And like some of my friends were like sharing it, and talking about it, whatever, and I was just like, I don't even know what this is. Like, again, I've not played Hollow Knight, so
You've
like
not
it's
what?
passed me by. I've not played Hollow Knight. I
Yeah,
don't.
me neither.
Um,
I mean, my general understanding is just like a very compelling Metrovania.
mm,
Like it's just good, you know. It's like very kind of like Souls likey, but just a very well crafted Metrovania. And what's crazy is like the content is massive in the first game, and this game's like even bigger. So I can
mm.
only imagine how much like value you're getting, because isn't it like $20 or something? Is it
I
30?
don't know.
Like it's ridiculous. Like I feel like we've gotten to a point in gaming where it's like indie games are kind of what the AAA games of like the 2000s used to be. It's like nowadays you got like very big players trying to like come out with the next very big thing, some type of like live servicey thing. It's it's like can't be too risky. We need just the right gimmick. And then whereas like you got indies like, hey, what if we just like make a game in this style, like PS1 graphics, and or you take a tried and true concept, a game like Metroid Prime, and you're like, okay, we're gonna do this, but we're gonna like iterate upon that idea and whatever, add something new, but just like make a very compelling game. Like, I don't know. It's just I'll never like understand how these things happen necessarily. Like I
Mm.
guess luck's a big part of it, but it's just amazing to me how we get such good quality games at like very reasonable prices, and then but they're not like technically impressive. You know what I mean? It's not like the crazy new thing, which also ties into Dino Crisis Resident Evil. I'm sorry I'm going a bit of tirade, but the interesting thing about that is like Resident Evil, it had like the pixel painted like backgrounds and stuff.
Yeah.
The only thing that was 3D rendered was the characters. Well, Dino Crisis, they were like, we want to try this new tech. We're gonna make everything 3D. So the environment was like 3D, technically impressive, but like because everything was 3D, the graph like you didn't get a lot of the colors and a lot of the details.
Mm.
Like it was more demanding on the hardware. So it was like a little bit of give and take type of thing where it's like, oh, this looks like technically impressive, but it's like the tracks visually almost. Which I think is interesting, and I don't know if we're necessarily in that phase right now, but yeah.
I definitely know what you mean. So that reminds me of like, I just immediately made me think of like old RTSs. It's like the full 3D RTSs of like 2004 or 5 or whatever, like looked kind of bad. And the reason why this is like top of mind is because the recent LAN we had like Dawn of War Definitive Edition, which came out, and like reminding of the original one, which like really low poly, like low texture stuff. Like it looked amazing at the time, but compared to something like the Definitive Edition of Age of Empires 2, which has got this like very specific art style because it's all drawn. There's no perspective. It's all isometric. You can't turn the camera. It's like it just looks beautiful. It still looks beautiful today. I know the res is low if you're playing the original version, but if you're playing like Definitive, you can like zoom out. It works fully at like 1440p. They've like tidied them all up, made them like higher res as well. But because there's just something about that style, right? It's like
Yeah.
I take that over the everything's 3D but looks like ass any day of the week. It's like so nice. So it's like technically more impressive to have the whole world in 3D. The sprites are easier, but you can make it look so like stylized and so beautiful if you have it done that way. Everything has to be so much more generic because like, it has to be looked at from every side now, and you have to figure out a way. And then, but then when you turn, it's like obvious that some of the things that you put on are just textures and not 3D models, And then it's just like the deficiencies of the system become very obvious very quickly unless it's done like really, really well. So it takes time for that tech to kind of be better in every respect and leapfrog over.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. There is a game that I'm going to try and play. This is why I said next time I'm on, I might not be playing EFT. I was like thinking about playing it tonight. I'm like, I'm just not sure if I'm going to have time with the cast and stuff. And I want to do it justice. And I haven't downloaded it yet, so that also will hamper me slightly. Which is a game that we talked about a bit before called Active Matter, which apparently is like out in some regard. It's like the early Active Matter early version or whatever. I saw some people were playing it earlier. I don't know if it's streamers only. I literally didn't know. I mean, I went to go and raid someone. I was like, no one's playing EFT. Oh, everyone's on Active Matter. Oh, crap. I didn't realize that had come out. So that kind of surprised me. So that's like, and some early version, some creators have codes for it. I don't know if everyone can or not. I haven't even looked into it yet, but I was sent one because I registered like ages ago when I saw it on Twitter. And I couldn't play in the playtest because I was away the weekend the playtest was happening, and I emailed them and said I can't. They said, "Hey, look, here's your chance to be part of it." And I was like, "I'm actually not here. I'm really sorry." And they were like, "Oh, that's fine. Just join next time." So I did get emailed the code like a couple of hours ago, but that was even after I'd seen when I jumped on to Twitch, and I was like, "Oh, everyone's playing this game. Damn it." So yeah, I'm not sure when that's running until. I guess like maybe it's just open. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna need to do a bit more research about that. But so for those of you forgot / didn't hear the original conversation we had, Active Matter is like it's like a sort of strange kind of. It's like it's an extraction shooter.
Mm-hmm.
But you like it's like you're in like a time loop type thing. So you've got a hideout. You go through these sort of portals to go into this particular zone. You have to go to get stuff out and progress your hideout and do all the usual stuff you do in an extraction shooter. But like the preview of it looked really, really quite nice. Like they had the full hideout already. Like the various upgrades look kind of neat. But like the world itself, like you're going into the raid and each raid starts the same way because that's like built into the lore directly, because it's like a time loop. Like you start again each time, so each time it's like the same. It's supposed to be the same thing, but it's like got really surreal stuff and like stuff's like upside down and like it's just there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. It just looks really neat. I need to play it before I could say more, I guess, because I've only seen like the trailer and looked into it a while ago, and I'm like slightly unprepared to talk about it, which is why I said it for the end of the cast, because like I've kind of forgotten myself and didn't have enough chance to look at it because I only saw it like 2 hours ago or something, being like, oh, I didn't even realize this was out. But I'm going to try it and see what it's like. Maybe it just is another generic extraction shooter. I don't know, or it could be really cool. Yeah, people have said it's a bit like Atomic Heart, and I haven't played Atomic Heart though, so I don't know. It's like Atomic Heart and Tarkov. Sort of similar, but yeah, but the whole thing's supposed to be kind of like mind bending, sort of some weird area that you go to that you have to get out in a certain amount of time before it like the bubble collapses in on itself or whatever. But there's like different maps and like it seems kind of neat. It's like it's PvEVP, but the E is like like weird like demons coming out of the warp and like strange stuff. So it's like it's kind of like it's much more fantasy, like sci fantasy than anything else we've really played in this genre. But it's all like weird like gravity anomalies. I guess it's sort of Stalker on crack in some sense. That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, but like it seems much more extreme because Stalker's kind of like just eerie and weird, whereas this is like, it's like way more bonkers. It seems like everything flipping upside down, like the roof is like everywhere and just really, really weird. Yeah. So speaking of Stalker, before we finish actually, I did actually go back and watch the original Stalker movie in Russian with subtitles because I was just intrigued, and it is not quite what I was expecting. It's a very arty sort of film. I'm not really an arty sort of film watcher, so I didn't really get it. It's also very, it's like very old, filmed with, very like raw styles from back in the day. It's like, when even was it? But anyway, it's based on Roadside Picnic, which I've not read. I was like, well, I'll watch this film. And it's the film is basically 3 men walk around a field for 2 hours and nothing really happens, is the film. Okay. So it's all the rest of it. It's mainly. I mean, I kind of got it. I think I kind of got it. I did a little bit of reading afterwards, but I think I kind of got it. It was like more about like the vibe and just the whole, I don't know, not like aesthetic's not even the right word. It's just like everything looks normal, but nothing is normal. Like things look like it's just a field or whatever, but it's like you can't go through it. It's about like it's almost like the limitations almost in your own head kind of thing. Even though you know it's dangerous out there, but they don't know what is dangerous. So it's just like people like walking very carefully around, what looks like ordinary things. It's just like it's a very strange putting yourself in like the minds of the characters. It's not an entertainment movie. Let's put it that way. You're supposed to experience the events in real time with the characters to basically like live the journey with them, including kind of like the sort of semi boredom and like frustration with like not making much progress that they do. So it was very, very weird. It was very, very weird. I wouldn't say I necessarily recommend it to anybody, but it was certainly interesting to watch.
Yeah. It made you think afterwards for more than one reason.
Yeah.
Like, what did I watch?
Man, like,
and
yeah,
also,
what the hell was this? Like,
yeah. And also, what was up with that one scene? Was he actually blah, 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 or was that actually blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, it was very weird. It was very, very, very strange. Just, yeah, like lots of scenes of people just sort of wittering on philosophically in Russian about, the meaning of life and stuff. Just like, what's going on here?
Did you have an existential crisis because of the movie?
I would say no. But I don't think it was necessarily for me. I don't think it's necessarily for many people, but it's certainly a different experience.
That's cool.
But anyway, I'm going to check out this Active Matter game when I get a chance. I'll try maybe tomorrow, if I can. I don't know when I'll be on. I might do a special one to like download it and play it a bit early or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But,
I'd love to know your thoughts on it. It looks interesting. I'm skeptical, just in general, but like I do like the whole like world bending in on itself. Like if that's interactable and how that plays out, that could be fun.
Yeah, like gravity changing to different surfaces and random stuff like this. Need for Speed is Active Matter on Unreal. I think so. Let me see. Yeah, it's UE5, so we'll have to see how it plays. I don't know how, because UE5 is like weird, right? We always get sort of it's an easy target for people, but Arc Raiders is on UE5 and it plays like a dream.
Yeah.
So it all just comes down to the devs. This is
it really does.
Active Matter, so I would suspect it probably plays quite well because this is the War Thunder guys, the enlisted guys. Like they're very, very experienced devs. So
yeah, I had to look up I didn't recognize the name, but yeah, then I saw War Thunder. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I know this. I know them. So yeah, so it could be.
I imagine it'll probably play okay, and it looks great, right? The game looks nice, at least. Quite colourful, It's moved away a bit from the grim Eastern European military stuff. It's like a bit more. I mean, it is like that too, but it's a bit more kind of like alien, weird, psychological stuff, and it is quite colourful in some ways.
Yeah,
for what it is. It's not like vibrant like cartoon colours or anything, but it's a sort of a middle ground between something like EFT or Daisy versus it's not like Marathon, but it's somewhere on the spectrum.
Yeah.
I'll give it a try.
Look forward to that. Until then, thank you everyone for tuning in, and with that, we'll wrap it up and see you next week.
Catch you later.